Have you ever seen those really cute hand sanitizer holders and you've been wanting to make some for yourself? Stay tuned and I'll show you how it's done. Hi there, this is Craft with Catherine, and today I'm going to show you how to make these really easy to assemble hand sanitizer containers. So if you have any hand sanitizers at home and you like to keep it accessible on the outside of your bag, then stay tuned and I'll walk you through the tutorial, and I also have a free pattern that you can find on my blog. So just make sure to visit the links below. I'll put a link to the free pattern and all of the products that I'll be using in the tutorial. What you'll be needing to assemble the hand sanitizer holder is some thick elastic. What I'm going to be using is the 25mm, but you can use whatever you have on hand. And you also are going to need some heavy-duty thread. This is denim thread, and I recommend the thicker stuff just because it looks really nice. You're going to need a measuring tape, and you're going to need some material. So I'm going to be using this craft vinyl. It's a puffy vinyl, and you can see that on the back it comes in white and black. It was just sold in a package, so I'll put the link below, and then that way you can choose what kind of background you want, and they come in an assortment of colors. This one is sort of like a super dark green. It looks almost black, and the navy blue, but it also comes in pink and beige. And you're going to be needing some button snaps. So these are great for working with thicker material. I recommend having a small hole punch. You're going to need some sharp fabric scissors. You're also going to need some paper scissors, a hammer, and you might also want a seam ripper, and you're going to need something to trace the pattern out. I'm just going to use a pen just for simplicity, but you can also use chalk or a fabric marker. And you're also going to need the pattern. I just have printed this out on paper, but it's also available in SVG and DXF if you want to cut it out with your cutting machine. And lastly, you'll be needing a small container of hand sanitizer, and this is a 1 ounce size. So it's a smaller container. This is a 2 ounce size, and this is a 1 ounce. So you can see it's for really small hand sanitizer containers. So to begin, if you're going to be tracing out the pattern, then you just want to print it out, and then just with your paper scissors, just cut out the pattern. The smaller piece is for the loop on where the keychain goes. And so if you're using a thicker material, you may want to make this a bit longer. This should work for thin material, but if you're using the puffy material like I am, I'd recommend adding another 4mm just to make it easier to work with. So now you just place the pattern onto the paper and you just trace it out. now with your fabric scissors, just cut out the pattern. So now the next step is to cut out a piece of elastic that measures 3 inches. So now what you want to do is you want to just place the elastic right in the middle, and then you turn it over, and you just want to start there and then work all the way around. So when you get to this point, what you want to do is to slide the elastic in so it's right along the edge, and then you just sew it down, and don't worry about there being an overhang, we'll take care of that later. So you could do this beforehand, it would be easier. So now you just want to top stitch around the edge of the center. So here you can see that I sewed up the outside and the elastic's been sewn onto the inside. So now you just want to follow along the edge and trim the elastic to the shape of the design. And now with a lighter, you just want to lightly go along the edge just to get rid of the frays, and but make sure not to scorch the fabric because it'll leave a black mark. And so now the design is almost done. So now the next step is you have 2 choices. You can either choose to put the keychain through here, and then the snap goes in the front. Or the second option is to put this little tab, and then you sew the tab right below the panel right here. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that just because I like the idea of it being attached to something without having to have being able to open and close the snap separately. So here you can see the keychain's been attached. It's really easy. Just line it up with the tag, and there is some pen marks. I'm not sure how to get rid of that. I might just give that a wash after, and so that's why it's good to use disappearing ink. Next time I'll make sure not to use a pen. And so the next step is we're going to put some snaps for the closure. So you want to find your snaps. There should be 4 different parts. It can be kind of confusing, and then I'm gonna go with be fixed with these 2 tools. So I like to start with this part just because it's what's going to be seen. So I just sort of eyeball where the center is, and now I'm going to use the punch to put it where I think it should go. Great, so that turned out to be fairly centered, so I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to just lay that down, and I'm going to put the top part. So now I'm going to take the pointy part and put it down the center and hammer it. And you can see it sandwiches the two pieces together, and that's the top part of the pin. So now I'm going to put the hand sanitizer in here just so I can get an idea of where the bottom should go. So I can see that I want the hole right about here, and I'm just going to eyeball the center. Now I'm going to put these two parts together. So here you can see the finished product, and it's a super easy and fast project. And so these are great. You can make them in a whole bunch of different patterns. I think there's a lot of different ways you can make these. This I just made with one layer of fabric just because it's thick, and for the most part you don't see the inside, so it works. But you could also, if you want to be more creative, you could sew two pieces together and then turn them inside out and then top stitch like that. You could use glitter vinyl, you could use cotton. I think there's like a whole bunch of different ways that you could make these up. And I hope that you enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure to subscribe, and I leave the link below for the free pattern. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time.